And there was a time when, I'm going to speak for myself, but I think that Ed would agree with this, when both of us saw branding as logos and design and marketing materials as well. I know that when I first wanted to start do branding, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to jump into the design work first. And even studying branding, that's what I focused on. I was a graphic designer. I'm a very visual person. I wanted to do the logos and the design work first. And then, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, it's probably something like, you know, designers want to focus on their comfort zone and, you know, not talking about design first. Because even myself, when I facilitate a branding process, I have to like be aware of what I'm doing and not jump into that pattern of thinking ahead and almost like pushing my ideas on them, because we're facilitators when we do a branding process. So I may think that they need a new logo in this regard, only to find out later when we're done, you know, it's not the case. Actually, we don't even need a new logo because there's cachet and that sort of thinking. So you try not to prejudge anything and try to influence the outcome morally, because it's a strategic example there as opposed to a visual solution. So I think that's what Marcia was getting to.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
No,
That was what I was
that's why
getting to.
that's why we're a team here.
That's why we're a tag team. I used to be afraid of the strategic part of branding
Yeah.
because I thought I wouldn't know the answers, but I knew design, so I thought, well, I'll just jump into the design.
That's right.
But actually, it's easier to do the strategy first because it informs the design, and then you can just go right into the design, and you've got your answer.
Yeah, because if you know our design process, there's an awful lot of analysis going on of the brand itself and of the competition.
Yes.
And so, like Marcia alluded to, the fact that down the road when additional branding work, graphic design work comes to the forefront,
Right.
a lot of the arguments are gone.
Yes.
They're already past discussions. There's no more arguing about
Right.
color or direction or why we're doing this in the first place. I alluded a few minutes ago to cachet. I've had cases where after the validation research, we find out that the customers recognize the brand image as it exists. So it would be foolhardy to change it. Whereas starting the branding process and focusing on design first, you would have made the error of changing something that was already accessible and approved by your client. And so, yeah.
Yeah, it gives credence, credibility, and a reason for the design that is not just you thinking, or, well, the competitor doesn't look like this, or
Right.
other reasons that you might come up with, or that you've come up with in the sanctuary of your office. This is proven stuff
Yeah.
that you come up with the client that you've worked through together, so they're already on board.
That's right.
And you don't need to then justify your design work.
It's beautiful.
But there's more actually to it than that, where that Ed and I have both found that by focusing on branding and specializing in branding has raised our value to our clients in the way that we really might not have expected in the beginning.
I certainly wouldn't have, no.
They not only value us more, but they think of us as, you know, that higher level specialist. Like, you know, you go to your GP or your general doctor because you have general things that are wrong with you, or, you know, you've got a cold or something like that. But if you want something really special, or if you've got a really bad disease that you really want the best doctor, you go to a specialist. So we're now considered specialists in branding. We're the experts. So people who are looking for that high level stuff, they come to us because of that.
That's right.
And when you think about it, your clients, when you just sell design and you say, I can do anything, I'll do anything that you need, which is what a lot of designers do, because they don't want, you kind of don't want to leave any money on the table. So you tell your clients, well, you know, what do you need? I can do it. But that's the wrong approach, because
But it doesn't feel wrong, does it, when they think
no,
about
it doesn't feel wrong at all. I used to do it too, but if you're a client, you're not looking for a generalist. Oh, I hope I can find somebody who can do everything. That's not what you're thinking. You're thinking, you know, I've got this specific kind of business. I've got this specific kind of problem. I hope I can find someone who knows how to, you know, really dig in with me
Right.
and help me solve this problem. So the more narrow you can get, and branding is a pretty good place to start.
Yeah.
If you specialize in branding, and then if you can even go into branding in a specific area, that even narrows you further.
Yeah.
You automatically raise your level and your value in the eyes of your clients.
Yeah, and that gets into the topic of niching, which we'll talk about later in another video. But it's an all important area, and it's a great strategy for you selling branding to your customers, to have that expertise in line. It's really powerful for you, and it also gives you, I find it goes a long way, Marcia, to build confidence, having that niche. You don't have to be all things to all people. You're getting in the door, you're telling the customer to get in the door themselves with branding, to be the only choice. And this is what we're doing with ourselves.
Absolutely. You're walking your walk
Yeah,
when you're doing it.
that's right.